baseball.
If the Knights win tonight, everyone is going home with a free McDonald's fry. Get your coupon after the game.
Qdoba Mexican Grill is a proud sponsor of your Corvallis Knights. Food for people who love food. Located off Monroe in Corvallis.
Get excited, Knights fans. The fantastic drone light show spectacular returns to Goss Stadium next Saturday, June 20th. Drones take to the Goss Stadium sky in an awe-inspiring light show spectacular that's sure to amaze fans of all ages. Grab your tickets now at CorvallisKnights.com.
Hey fans, did you know we offer home delivery? Simply scan the QR code up on the video and get some favorite TNT Builders Party Deck concessions delivered right to your seat. TNT Builders, your deck and patio cover experts in the Williamson South for over 25 years. Visit them at TNTBuilderInc.com.
This season, the Knights and Pape Material Handling are teaming up once again to support Community Outreach Inc. For every stolen vase at home this season, the Knights and Pape will each donate $25 to COI. And the total is doubled when the Knights win. Hey kids, don't forget to run the bases after the game and give player autographs, courtesy of Old Spaghetti Factory. Once the game is over, access the field near the TNT Builders Party Deck down the third baseline. Parents, get your kiddos registered for Knights Day Camp presented by Nike. This summer we're offering 2 camps, June 25th and July 17th. Come spend a morning of baseball fun with the best coaches and players in the WCL. Visit our website to register today. Tickets for the July 3rd fireworks show are already on sale. Make sure you purchase those. We usually pack the house for that one. Go ahead and purchase your tickets now at CorvallisKnights.com. Tonight is Block 15 Thursday. Every Block 15 winner purchasing evening earns you a raffle ticket with awesome prizes. So make sure to stop by the Little King's Kitchen, the TNT Builders Party Deck, or the Beer Garden and grab yourself a cold, refreshing Block 15 craft beer. The raffle will be drawn at the end of the 7th inning.
Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with our crew tonight of Brian Thomas, Brian Brucker, and others whom I will identify, crew members to be named later. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the series between the Corvallis Knights and the Marion Berries. On the final night for Lil King, we'll be honoring Justin Lil King throughout the evening. He's got a nice rooting section here cheering him on as he makes his final appearance tonight as Lil King here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. There is a baseball game to be played. Last night it was a pleasure to watch Archer Horn work at shortstop. A highly regarded, in fact ranked as high as the number 67 draft prospect by one draft service. Archer Horn either will sign and begin a professional career this summer or head on his way to the farm at Stanford. A couple of pretty good options for an outstanding ball player and young man. We'll meet Archer Horn after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, a gorgeous night for baseball. Game 2 for the Knights against the Marion Berries. Mike Parker, honored to be joined by a young man who we're really excited to watch play for the Knights this summer and what may be ahead for him in the Major League Baseball amateur draft beginning July 11th. Maybe seeing him play at Stanford. There's a lot of things on Archer Horn's plate, but it's a pleasure to welcome Archer to Corvallis. So let's start there, Archer. I know you got a lot of things probably going on about what's ahead this summer, but right now, the here and now, the present, in a Knights uniform playing for the Knights. So far, what's it been like for you?
I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed getting to know my new teammates, and then also my buddy Bryce Hill just got here. Might be going to Stanford with him next year, and so yeah, I'm really excited to, get that connection before we both go off. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Playing baseball every day has been amazing, and it's an awesome experience.
Well, you're still a young man, and yet I imagine that you've been kind of thinking about what's coming in mid-July, but also the opportunity to go to Stanford. Either way, it feels like it's a can't-lose proposition. Both are good options, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's definitely a win-win. I'm really excited to see what happens. I know there's a lot of unknowns, and I'm just gonna go with it. I know that there's no wrong decision, so I'm really excited. And
you told me before I turned on the microphone, you have somebody in Scott Boras who looks out for players as well as anyone in the world over the decades. He's tried and true and proven. Have you enjoyed your relationship with him?
Yes, it's been awesome working with the Boras team, and I have nothing but great things to say about them, and they are definitely in my corner and for me. Yeah.
Well, he works with a guy that we saw last year at Oregon State all year at shortstop in Iva Arquette, one of the best shortstops in the country. And he was only here 1 year, but it was a delight to have Iva in the Oregon State program. I call the Beaver game, so I got to watch him play. Selfishly, I hope that we get to see you in college baseball. What about the opportunity, if indeed you do choose to go the collegiate route? How did it come about to go to Stanford?
Yeah, well, during my recruiting process, I mean, this was before the rule change, so I committed pretty early as a freshman, but I was really looking for a school that both had a great baseball program and then also had really good academics. And then, I mean, when Stanford offered, it was kind of a no-brainer.
You were telling me, too, you grew up in Boston before you moved west. So the Red Sox roots and Boston sports kind of still with you, even out here in the West?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big Boston fan. And then also, since moving to San Francisco, I've kind of adopted those teams as well. But definitely my heart is originally in those Boston teams.
Archer Horn, my guest on the pregame show. What about your dad? You were telling me kind of his life journey, Baltimore. So is he still kind of an Orioles guy at heart?
He is, yeah. There's a little bit of a rivalry there. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and he's had a very interesting career, too, and you've got a great career ahead of you. I watched you make a play last night in the hole at short. I go, okay, now I understand, because, you read and hear about things. Has shortstop been the position you've generally played? Is that where you're most comfortable?
Yeah. I definitely say shortstop was always the goal. Originally, it wasn't where I always played because I lacked some athleticism and was definitely better on the mound. But I think over the course of my high school career, I just kind of developed as a player and changed, and I think that suits me best, and it's what I want to keep doing and what I think I'm best at.
And is that what you're being told, that that's how you project, or are you a two-way guy? I mean, is that to be decided, or is shortstop kind of what you're settling in on?
Yeah, shortstop's the thing I've settled in on after this past season. Yeah.
Well, the play I referred to last night is just that you made it look easy in the hole. How has your development as a shortstop? I mean, if you said you gravitated at first toward pitching, shortstop's a very demanding position. How have you kind of learned the craft along the way?
Yeah, well, I think just really learning how to read balls off the bat, I think, has made a big difference. And then also getting more athletic, getting better with side-to-side movement, and I think it's really benefited me. And I've got a lot of room left to grow, but I'm really excited for the opportunity to continue to keep doing that here in Corvallis.
I'm going to ask you about, you mentioned Bryce Hill. You guys both have big decisions coming up here in mid-July, but for those of us who'll get to see him pitch a little bit, or tell us a little bit about him and how excited you are to have him here.
Yeah, well, I'm super stoked. He's really impressive. The fastball it's A+. It's incredible. I think it's up to triple digits, and his secondaries are also great. I think the slider and the changeup are good, and he's I think the thing the best thing about him, his best quality, is that he's just a dog on the mound, and he goes out there and he's not afraid to compete at all.
Well, we're honored to have both of you here. Tell us about this. I mean, who said, hey, if you're going to spend some time playing summer ball, the Corvallis Knights might be a good place to go. How did that come about for you and maybe for Bryce, too? Yeah,
I think both of us were assigned by the Stanford coaches, and when they gave me the opportunity, I was really excited, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely how I want to spend my summer. Yeah.
Final thing with Archer Horn, and that is, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I am curious just from day to day now as you approach the timing, how you prepare for what's up. What is your kind of calendar in terms of the next few weeks ahead and the draft in July? How are you going to kind of navigate all of that? What's your calendar look like?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to continue to play out here and continue to have a lot of fun. I think I'll attend the draft combine.
And when is that?
That is, I believe, between June 22nd and June 27th at some point. Okay. I don't know if it's all of those days. Okay. But, and then, the draft is the weekend of the 11th in July, so we'll see if I go home for that or not, but yeah.
Do you, I promise this is it, but do you, envision, I mean, is there a certain place in terms of what you decide to after that? I mean, even if you do get drafted in the spot you like and you decide that you're going to sign or whatever else, might you still spend a little more time if you're enjoying yourself and get more reps here before the summer's over?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, from what I've experienced so far, I think that's definitely a real possibility. I haven't really thought that far in advance, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I think that would definitely be an option.
Okay. Well, the next thing is tonight. Let's see. It looks like you're in the seventh hole back at shortstop, and tonight's the thing, right? There's nothing else going on except the ball game tonight, right? Yep. It's great to have you with us, Archer. Thanks for taking time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for this. This is awesome.
That's Archer Horn, my guest. You're going to be hearing a lot about him the rest of this summer and in the weeks ahead. It's great to have him with the Corvallis Knights. We'll get to the rest of the starting lineup and more after this 2-minute break. The Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Let me make sure you're in there.
On the mound this evening, number 25, Nick Salin. Now, fans, we ask that you please rise, remove your caps. If you are a current or former serving member of the military, please feel free to render a military salute for the playing of tonight's national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. And now we're going to throw it back down to our Preventian Brown Orthodontics Junior first pitcher. Take it away.
Welcome back into Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Corvallis Knights and the Marion Berries. A bit of a jitney type schedule with Game 3 of the series due on Monday right back here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Both teams will have series this weekend. The Knights will travel across the pass over to beautiful Vince Guenna Stadium, Central Oregon. 3 games with the Bend Elks, which yours truly will be calling from beautiful Bend tomorrow night, 6:35. 6:35 again on Saturday night, 5:05 Sunday. Now, I'm not sure what it's supposed to do in Central Oregon, but it's my understanding it's going to be into the low to mid-90s here in the Mid-Valley come Sunday. It certainly turned into a beautiful day today as we awaited Game 2. Clear, sunshiny all day long, and in fact warmed into in fact, one of my temperature readings was 83 degrees at one point. Not exactly sure what you experienced, but as we get ready for the first pitch, 77 pleasant degrees, as we well know. Even in some of the hottest days of summer, it can cool off. Last night was downright chilly as the ball game went along. The Knights prevailing on a walk-off wild pitch, 3-2. Both teams entering the ball game at 6-4. Sawyer Nelson will lead things off at shortstop for Marion in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Monday night, the finale at 6:35, with games in between for both teams. Sawyer at shortstop, Evan Berg in the 2-hole in center, Martin Serrano, the designated hitter, batting third, Gavin Price, the cleanup hitter, in left, Matthew Major batting fifth in right field, Cale Barney hitting sixth at first base, Hudson Flora batting 7th and catching. Liam O'Connor hitting 8th at second base. Nolan Rowe batting 9th at third. And left-hander David Roberts, a great baseball name for Corvallis, on the mound for the Marion Berries. The first pitch from Nick Salins to Sawyer Nelson misses inside. Salins back to Sawyer and misses just outside. So 2 pitches in, 2 balls and no strikes as we get underway on a beautiful Thursday night here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Slight breezes blowing out towards left center field, but the entire field, save for a little patch of shadow back of first, bathed in sunshine. The 2-0 pitch, a strike to Sawyer Nelson from Nick Salins. Nick comes back and delivers a pitch swung on and missed to even the count at 2-2 to Sawyer, with Evan Berg on deck, Martin Serrano to follow. Nick Salins turns and comes to the plate. The 2-2 pitch lifted to center field and playable for Max Medina. He backs up a little bit and makes the catch in straightaway center. And a good start for Nick Salins, retiring the leadoff hitter, and that'll bring to the plate Evan Berg, with Nick Salins, the right-hander, getting an out to open the ball game. 6'2", 215-pounder, completed this past spring at Pacific. He's ready to go now to Evan Berg, the right-hand hitting center fielder. Will set the Knights defensively as we go here in the top of the first, under the sun in the Mid-Valley. First pitch breaking ball from Salins, misses down and away, ball 1, 1-0. Nick working with Xavier Rios back of the plate. Chance Flores at first, Berkeley Rentz at second, Archer Horn at short, Tate Hammond at third. Fastball foul back into the entryway area of Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, and a good crowd coming in tonight to honor Lil King in his final appearance after 15 years as an outstanding mascot for Knights baseball. Though these past 15 summers, a lot of wear and tear on Justin Sloan's body. Little King calling it a career here tonight, and a lot of fans have come out to see that and were rewarded with trading cards and Big League Chew upon entering compliments of K-Gal and K-Show Radio. The off-speed pitch in there for a strike from Nick Salins. He's ahead of the count, 1-2 on Evan Berg. Delivers a breaking ball, popped up to shallow center field. Going out is Archer Horn. Coming in is Medina. Archer stays with it. An over-the-shoulder catch in shallow left center field. Well done by Archer. Fighting the sun a little bit and dealing with a breeze that's pushing the ball towards center field. Archer stays with it, 2 down. And Martin Serrano, the designated hitter, coming up. Trading cards and chewing gum, a pretty good baseball tradition. And they are married here tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field with Big League Chew and the trading cards of Corvallis Knights players. The first pitch to Martin Serrano, lifted to left field and playable for Zane Garvey. Garvey goes over to make the catch. He's the left fielder. Max Medina in center, Joey Morosco in right. And it's a solid pitching to contact 1-2-3 inning for Nick Salins as we get underway at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. After half an inning, it's Marion nothing. The Knights coming up back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew for good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
The first inning, a good job by Nick Salins, retiring the Marion Berries in order. And leading things off for the Knights against the starting pitcher, left-hander David Roberts, will be Max Medina. Max will be followed by Joey Marasco and then Chans Flores. Left on left to open the Knights, bottom of the first. No score. David Roberts to the plate. First ball swinging. Medina, a chopper up the middle to the right of Liam O'Connor. He fields and throws to first just in time for the out. Nice play by Liam O'Connor, who then, upon receiving the throw from Cale Barney, showed that that son is indeed going to be a tough one, in that when the Berries went to throw the ball around the horn, Barney tossed the baseball back to Liam, who had just made a good play to open the defensive outing for the Berries. And Liam had to duck his way because the ball completely in the path of the son, ducked his way out of the way. Fortunately, Cale had just thrown a little bit of a Steve Hamilton, Fodor Flali, Ripsul, Ephus type throw to him. But he had to bend out of the way of it, losing the throw around the horn in the sun. Max Medina retired on the first pitch. Joey Marasco, the batter. Joey takes the first pitch inside from David Roberts. The 1-0 pitch misses again. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Joey. The Knights prevailing last night 3-2 in a night where they left 15 men on base, but when it counted, got the final run home in the bottom of the ninth inning on a walk-off wild pitch. Joey Marasco out of George Fox, the Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year. David Roberts to the plate and bends his breaking ball down and into Joey. Ball 3, 3-1, 1 out, nobody on, no score. Bottom of the first inning. Joey has been an outstanding prospect out of Granada High School in Livermore, California. Has played on U15 and U16 identification series teams. He takes the 3-1 pitch, low and in for ball 4. That was a new nomenclature for yours truly to try to understand in terms of 15U and 16U national team identification series Champions Cup teams that he's played on at the National Training Complex for Team USA in Cary, North Carolina. Those are identification teams where youngsters who are being considered for full participation in Team USA get a chance to show their wares. Marasco goes on the first pitch. A great jump by Joey. A good read going on first move by lefty David Roberts. And he is safely in as Joey Marasco at second base with a stolen base. Pape Material Handling and the Knights thus make a $25 donation each to community outreach. Chans Flores taking the first pitch for ball 1, and the scoreboard has indeed been rectified with balls and strikes and outs emblazoned upon the board beyond the right field fence. The 1-0 pitch to Chans Flores misses down and in, ball 2. Chans out of Lynn Benton Community College this past spring from Hudson Bay High School in Vannie. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch on the way to Roberts, high and inside from David Roberts. Ball 3 to Chans Flores. The Knights looking to get on the board. Their first lead of the ball game was last night in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3 balls and no strikes, and the pitch to Flores misses down and in. Ball 4. After a first pitch out on Max Medina, back-to-back walks, and the Knights will try to take advantage with big Trey Swigert striding to the plate with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score, but the Knights trying to change that. The first pitch from Roberts to Trey is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. David Roberts, a lefty out of Discovery Bay, California, Liberty High School, and a really good spring with the outstanding program of the St. Mary's Gales, which took top seed UCLA out at the LA Regional. The strike 1 breaking ball from Roberts to Trey Swigert, lifted foul to the left towards Waldo Hall. No balls and 2 strikes. 26 during the spring. 18 appearances for St. Mary's, 26 innings of work, a couple of saves, an ERA of under 4. A redshirt at Arizona State in 2025. Roberts to the plate, fastball, swung on and missed. So after back-to-back walks, a 3-pitch punch-out of Trey Swigert, 2 down, and Xavier Rios will be the batter. Joey Morosco at second, Chance Flores at first with 2 down, and Xavier trying to come through with a clutch 2-out hit. Skipper Brooke Knight coaching at third base. Brooke in his 18th year. And over at first base, Marcus Matias. Spencer Scott, who was not with the club last night, has returned. He's in the dugout. But Marcus Matias, a student manager at Utah this past spring, made a connection with the Knights when Bo Kearns was the director of ops in Salt Lake City. Xavier Rios takes a strike, 0-1 the count. 2 on, 2 down, no score, bottom of the first. David Roberts to the plate and misses low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. David's second summer with Marion. 41 innings pitched last year for the Berries, the second most on the club. 1-1 the count with 2 on and 2 out. No score in the bottom of the first. Roberts set. David, the left-hander, to the plate. Swung on and missed. A back pick down to first. And Chance Flores is caught in a rundown. He's being chased down. The throw is high, but the out recorded by Cale Barney, going up high to receive the throw from shortstop Sawyer Nelson, running at Chance Flores. Chance was back-picked by Hudson Flora and got caught in no man's land and is tagged out by Barney in the rundown to retire the side. David Roberts withstands a little control difficulty. No runs, no hits, 1 left. And after 1, the Berries nothing, the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
To the second inning we go, no score. The Knights and Marion Berries. The first pitch from right-hander Nick Salins to Gavin Price. Misses for ball 1. Salins, a very quick worker, back to the plate. Fastball lifted down the right field line into foul territory. Moving over is Joey Morosco, reading it well to make the catch in foul grounds. And Nick Salins doing a nice job here early, pitching to contact, and has produced 4 outs with that methodology. 1 gone. Matthew Major to the plate. Salin, 6'4", 215, out of Seattle's Lincoln High School. The Northwest Conference Pitcher of the Year this past spring at Pacific. 91 2/3 innings in his career and 93 strikeouts. And I haven't been able to break down whether for Nick, who delivers a first pitch missing for ball 1 to Matthew Major, comes back and misses again. 2 balls and no strikes. That's a lot of innings. 91 2/3, 93 strikeouts to lead the Northwest Conference and earn himself the distinction of the Northwest Conference Pitcher of the Year. The pitch to Major, blasted to center. Max Medina going back. The ball goes off the middle of the fence, comes back in toward the field, hesitating between second and third, but getting safely in nevertheless is Matthew Major with a booming one-out triple to straightaway center field. Major would have made it easily had he not hesitated, and he still ends up making it to third without a play. Max Medina went back on the ball at the 400-foot mark in straightaway center. Got a good read, and the ball in the wind and blasted. Major really hit it well. Matthew coming around second, hesitated, would have been able to walk in without that, but he gets a triple with one out, bringing Cale Barney to the plate. A chopper to the first baseman, Flores, who throws to the plate, and out at the plate is Matthew Major, 2 down. Major was a little bit hesitant, did not break on contact. So base running here comes into play. Major got to third, but he was a little hesitant in his route there. And here he did not break immediately on contact. It was a half a tick, so to speak, and then he broke. And that gave Chance Flores a chance to take the chopper and come to the plate with it for out number 2. Cale Barney aboard on the fielder's choice, but a missed opportunity indeed for Tucker Brock's Marion Berries. The first pitch to Hudson Flora, lifted to right field and playable for Joey Morosco, who makes the catch, and that's that very quickly. Well, a triple for Matthew Major, but for the second straight inning, Knights right-hander Nick Salins faces the minimum. No runs, a hit, nobody left. After 1.5, Marion nothing, the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Bottom of the second inning, no score. Xavier Rios will lead things off for the Knights. Xavier will be followed by Zane Garvey and then Archer Horn. Tonight's a trading card night presented by our friends here in town, K-Gal and K-Show, but the ball game being heard live on AM 1240. Joe Radio. The first pitch to Rios is pulled fair down the left field line and heading to the corner. Xavier on his way for 2. The ball chased down, and Xavier still running. The relay into third, and he's safe at third. Xavier Rios just does get under the tag. I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have been called out, but I think Xavier's going to be sent back on a ground rule double back to second. The ball disappeared in the left field corner near the Knights bullpen. We couldn't see what had happened, but apparently rolled into out-of-play territory. A ground rule double for Xavier Rios on the first pitch of the bottom of the second inning. And the Knights thus with an opportunity to get on the board. Matthew Major, a one-out triple last inning. I think I said face the minimum. There was that fielder's choice unassisted to the plate. And so it wasn't. It was a 4 at-bat inning for the Marion Berries in the top of the second inning. Good swing by Xavier. And is at second with a ground rule double. Zane Garvey shows bunt and takes a strike. 0-1 the count. No score. Bottom of the second. David Roberts looks back at Rios. The pitch to Garvey is in there for a strike. The count 1-1. Zane got the Knights game-winning uprising going in the bottom of the ninth last night with a leadoff double down the left field line. Ended up being run 4. The Knights prevailed on the wild pitch in the bottom of the ninth inning. Garvey takes just outside. The count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Archer Horn on deck. No score in the bottom of the second inning. A leadoff double for Xavier Rios. David Roberts, the left-hander working on the left-hand, hitting Zane Garvey. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball outside, ball 2. Zane out of Beaverton's Southridge had a really good spring at Western Oregon, starting and playing in all 50 games, hit .306, scored 41 runs, second on the Wolves club. 2-2 the count to Zane. He checks his swing and takes a little low. Ball 3 on the breaking ball from David Roberts. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Zane Garvey. A leadoff double for Xavier Rios. And now the job for Zane, of course, try to get Xavier moved. No score in the bottom of the second. The 3-2 pitch on the way. A line drive to left field. Gavin Price will play it on a hop. Xavier Rios gets to third and will be held there. Zane Garvey, a nice piece of hitting. An opposite field base hit to left, and the Knights indeed threatening here in the bottom of the second. First and third, nobody out, and Archer Horn, the hitter. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation with the outstanding young man, Archer Horn. His father went to Princeton, grew up an Orioles fan, did Howard Horn, Archer's papa, and Archer himself declaring his lifetime love with the Boston Red Sox. Growing up in the hub, a throw to first base, and Zane Garvey nearly picked off. The throw to Cale Barney a little bit high. Had the throw been a little bit lower, Barney would have been able to tag Garvey out. The Knights ran themselves out of a potential opportunity last inning with Chance Flores getting picked off, and a good move flashed by David Roberts that nearly had Zane Garvey picked. Rios at third, Garvey at first. Archer Horn, the left-hand hitter, the batter, takes a little bit high and away. Ball 1, 1-0. No score. Bottom of the second, runners at the corners, nobody out. First and third for the Knights, trying to get on the board early tonight. They did not enjoy a lead until the bottom of the ninth inning last night. Another throw to first. Zane Garvey back to the bag. Tate Hammond, the on-deck hitter for the Knights. David Roberts from the stretch. The left-hander comes back to the plate. A ground ball to the left of the second baseman, Liam O'Connor. This will get the run home. O'Connor throws over to first to Cale Barney, but on the play, Xavier Rios down the line to score. An RBI ground out for Archer Horn, who gets the job done, and the Knights lead it 1-0. Tate Hammond will be the batter. Tate is an incoming freshman at UCLA. Out of the outstanding program, Long Beach Poly, 6'1", 185, left-handed hitter. The alma mater of one Chase Utley, who also went on to do great things at UCLA, where Tate Hammond is bound. First pitch to Tate, misses low, ball 1, starting at third base tonight for the Knights. On the play that scored Xavier Rios, Zane Garvey moved to second. Hammond looking for a run batted in. The 1-0 pitch missing down and away to Tate, ball 2, 2-0. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the second. David Roberts kicks and comes to the plate. And just misses again. Ball 3, 3-0. Perry Schofield with a fairly stingy zone, it appears. Derek Dunbar, the base umpire. 3 balls and no strikes to Tate Hammond. Berkeley Rentz on deck. Roberts to the plate and misses outside, ball 4. The third walk yielded by David Roberts, and that'll bring Berkeley Rents to the plate with runners at first and second and one out. Berkeley also out of George Fox from Wilsonville High School, playing for Kevin Koppel at Fox. I'm curious and look forward to visiting with Berkeley someday about assistant coach, I believe it's pronounced Lobb, in Newburgh at Fox. First pitch breaking ball to Berkeley, a strike, and the count 0-1. Carol Lobb, an assistant at Fox since 2022 for head coach Kevin Koppel. Former head coaching position where Pat Casey launched his legendary career. Pat Bailey also a head coach there. Berkeley Rents with a count of no balls and a strike awaits Roberts. Breaking ball away, ball 1, 1-1. 1-0 Knights, 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the second. Carol Lobb, I would just be interested in finding out more about her in that she graduated in violin performance at Rice in 1988. And I know in making various notes through the years, that's a first. The pitch missing down and away, ball 2, 2-1. Violin performance and a baseball coach. I like the combo. 2 on, 1 out, 1-0 Knights. The 2-1 pitch misses again, ball 3. Roberts is not missing by a lot, but apparently missing. It's a tight zone from Perry Schofield. He's walked 2 in the first and 1 here in the second. 2 on and 1 out, 3-1 to Berkeley Rents. Max Medina on deck. The 3-1 pitch is ball 4 to load him up. Xavier Rios opened the inning with a double on the first pitch down the left field line, a ground rule double. Zane Garvey dropped a single into left. Archer Horn a ground out to score Rios. And back-to-back free passes have ensued. And that will bring a visit now out from the pitching coach, Lindsey McCarger, heading out for a conversation with his left-hander, Dave Roberts. I enjoyed a conversation on my own with both Lindsey McCarger and Kevin Moffitt, part of Tucker Brock's staff. I asked about Dan Warthen, and Dan did such a great job last year going to most of the games, traveling. Lindsey said he just tried to be a sponge and absorb as much knowledge as he could from one of the great pitching coaches of the modern era, coming back to the Beaver State and coming back to work with the Marion Berries pitchers last year. Dan, it's just amazing to see a person of his stature and his caliber. And what Lindsey said he was so impressed by was the teaching methods, the patience, and the way he could explain and get pitchers to understand what it was in the incredibly difficult craft of pitching that Dan, who had coached at the highest levels and coached some of the best pitchers in the modern era of the game, with San Diego, Philadelphia, the Tigers, the Mariners, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Mets, all in the big leagues. It's a great resume. And last year lent his expertise, his knowledge, and wisdom to the Marion Berries in the West Coast League. I don't think he's going to be involved this year with the Berries, at least not much, but boy, what a joy it was to have him in the league last year. After Coach McCarger's visit, David Roberts still struggling to find the zone. His first pitch missing tonight's leadoff hitter, Max Medina, and he comes back to Max and misses again. Ball 2, 2-0. Roberts to the plate. The 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike, and Medina, who offered at the first pitch last inning, making Roberts throw a strike with the bases loaded, 1 out, the Knights leading 1-0. The 2-1 pitch to Max, out in front, taps it foul at the plate, and the count even up 2-2 with Joey Morosco on deck. Zane Garvey at third base, Tate Hammond at second, Berkeley Rents at first. The infield a double play depth for the Berries, left on left with David Roberts. Back to Max Medina, a chopper foul up along first. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The ball fielded by Cale Barney in foul territory. I asked Coach Brock about the Barney twins, who are Oregon State bound, and will, of course, have a great deal of interest in tracking their progress in games head-to-head between the Knights and Berries, but all summer long, since they indeed are coming to play for Mitch Canham here with the Beavers. The 2-2 pitch, a little number up along first. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it does roll foul. Fielded halfway up the line in foul territory by David Roberts. The runners return, as old Diz would say, to their respectable bases. And the bases remain loaded, 1 out, and another opportunity for Max Medina. The thing I was so heartened to hear from Coach Brock, when asked about, he says their potential, their athletic ability, their ceiling's high, that they kind of overlooked a little bit from their part of the world down in Nolensville, Tennessee. And it looks as though we're going to see a pitching change, or there's a physical issue or something going on, with home plate umpire Perry Schofield calling time. Derek Dunbar is meeting with David Roberts back of the mound. So this is something other than a visit now by Coach Brock to see what's going on with David Roberts. And the Knights trainer, Corey Yates, who works as the athletic trainer for both teams in the series. Corey Yates out of Lebanon, worked with Central, the state champions in baseball this past spring, comes out to see what's going on with David Roberts. But the report from Coach Brock, and apparently we're going to see a pitch thrown for David to test things out to make sure that he's okay physically to carry on here in the bottom of the second with the Knights leading 1-0. Coach Brock said that in terms of makeup, what the old scout Ray Scarborough used to call the inner half, the soul of the man, Blind Willie Johnson singing back in the 30s a song called The Soul of a Man. What is the soul of a man? Great tune. Bruce Coburn covered it on Nothing But a Burning Light, and if Coburn covered it, it's got to be good. The brilliant Bruce Coburn, Nothing But a Burning Light, the soul of a man. But in terms of the soul, the inner half, Coach Brock said the Barney twins are off the charts. Just great young men, and I was delighted to hear it. David Roberts, after all of that, comes back with a 2-2 pitch. Max Medina swings through it. Strike 3, 2 down. Joey Morosco coming to the plate. Joey walked last inning. 4 walks issued by David Roberts. The Knights have a run on the board, but if Joey doesn't keep the inning going, then indeed we have shades of an evening to go. The Knights left 15 on, but did win in the end. Morosco tried to check his swing, but went around. No balls and a strike to Joey. And whatever it was that was bothering David, after being checked out by Corey Yates and by Tucker Brock, and throwing a practice pitch, he's come back and is filling up the zone. Bases loaded, 2 down. The strike 1 pitch, Morosco fouls our first pitch of the night into Urchin Alley behind me to the right, and the count goes to 0-2 to Joey Morosco. With the bases loaded and 2 down, the Knights with a run in, but they really had an opportunity to bust this thing. Morosco still has a chance for a clutch 2-out hit. The strike 2 pitch on the way, very high, ball 1, 1-2. Xavier Rios opened the inning with a ground rule double. Went to third on a base hit by Zane Garvey. Scored on Archer Horn's ground out. Zane Garvey at third. Tate Hammond, who walked, at second. Berkeley Rentz, who walked at first. Morosco takes just outside. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And David Roberts indeed trying to settle in. He's been a bit wild with 4 walks in 2 innings, but has a chance to escape here. The 2-2 pitch, a ground ball wide of third, fielded by Nolan Rowe. The throw across to first is in time, and the Knights get a run, but leave 3. A run on 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on at the end of 2. The Knights won and Marion nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Leading off the top half of the first inning for the Berries. Number 2, second baseman, Marion.
Nothing Knights to the top of the third inning. Knights right-hander Nick Salins will go to work on Liam O'Connor. Liam will be followed by Nolan Rowe and then Sawyer Nelson. First pitch missing, high and inside to Liam, ball 1. Kevin Moffitt, the head coach at JFK, Mount Angel, Ethan Kleinschmidt country, coaching at first base, Tucker Brock at third. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Tucker, an assistant for his dad at North Marion. The 1-1 pitch, fastball in there, strike 2. It may be a bit on the stingy side from home plate umpire Perry Schofield, but Nick Salins has provoked the umpire to raise his right arm twice in a row. And now the 1-2 pitch, he elicits a swing and a miss from Leon O'Connor on the breaking ball. A strikeout, the first of the evening for Nick Salins. One away, and Nolan Rowe, the batter. Brooks Hatch has just come by with, as he has been so kind to do over the years. And Brooks has been involved. This is the 19th year with the Knights. Brooks has been involved with Knights baseball as the director of communications since year 1. First pitch to Nolan Rowe, high and inside, ball 1. 1-0 Knights in the third. Justin Sloan, a.k.a. Lil King, being honored tonight, and this is final game in the Lil King mascot gear. 15 years in, has been a fixture in this ballpark over the summers and a beloved figure. The 1-0 slider from Nick in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Brooks sending along the notes that Brooks Lee, the 2019 West Coast League Player of the Year, first-round draft pick for the Minnesota Twins, the son of Larry Lee, the legendary coach at Cal Poly, went 0 for 4 tonight. Off speed from Salins, in there for a strike. Nick ahead of the count, 1-2, 1 out, nobody on in the third, 1-0 Knight. Wade Meckler and Nick Madrigal. Madrigal, a former Knight, both in the Angels lineup of late. No game today for the Angels. The pitch to Nolan Rowe, a high pop foul off first. This one will carry just below the Jack Riley concourse in the lower grandstand down the first base side out of play. 1-2 to Nolan Rowe. Stephen Kwan and Travis Pizzana, both former Corvallis Knights and both now with the Cleveland Guardians, also had the day off. Adley Rutschman, who had been out with a hamstring issue, and there was some speculation from Tumwater and others that maybe Adley was being held out for the potential of a trade, being rumored to go to the Yankees. John Casey said today, I hear Adley's going to the Guardians. The pitch to Rowe misses in the count 2-2. Salins back with a fastball just inside. 3-2 the count. Well, Adley was back in the lineup today, unfortunately for the Mariners, but good for Adley, the former Beaver and former Knight. Adley Rutschman 2 for 3 with a double, 3 runs batted in, and a 7-5 win over the Mariners. A changeup, a 2-hopper to third. Tate Hammett on top of it. Throws to first in time for the out. Good speed for Nolan Rowe down the line, but the out recorded, 2 away. And Sawyer Nelson will come to the plate. And I'm not sure. I'm going to hand this to young Ben over here. A note on Brandon Eisert. The first pitch from the left-hander, or to the left-hand hitting Sawyer Nelson from right-hander Nick Salins, misses for ball one. What does that say? Eisert what to Atlanta? The 1-0 pitch on the way, lifted foul off third, out of play.
Rained out versus Atlanta.
Oh, okay, thank you. I did. Brandon Eisert, it says Brandon Eisert rained out versus Atlanta. I guess the rest of the team was too. Eisert got rained out, huh? Okay, I just was being a little too particular there. But Eisert with the White Sox rained out in Atlanta. 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball a little bit high, ball two. 2-1, 2 down, nobody on. The Knights leading 1-0. The 2-1 pitch nearly hit Sawyer Nelson into the backstop, and the count goes to 3-1. Sawyer flied to center field to open this ball game. 3 balls and 1 strike to Sawyer Nelson with 2 down and nobody on in the top of the third. The 3-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and that runs the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Amanda Knight, who is running the on-field promotions again this year, has come up to my broadcast vantage point to check in on me. I appreciate the care. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3, and a good job by Nick Salins, pitching an excellent ball game. He retires the side in order, 2 strikeouts here in the third, and after 2.5, it's the Knights 1 and Marion nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
With the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
He's going to be calling Knights up to bat with some compliments of Mountain County Schools Credit Union.
Get mine in, thank you. And so I was off headset for a bit. On this beautiful night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights leading the Berries 1-0 in the bottom of the third. David Roberts worked through some control difficulties last inning and stranded 3 Knights. Goes to work on Chance Flores, who swings and misses David's first pitch. The 0-1 offering, fastball high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chance, who drew a walk in the first inning. One of 4 free passes through the first 2 innings that David Roberts has issued, and yet is only down 1-0. The 1-0 pitch hits Chance Flores on his left elbow area, and Chance draws his second free pass of the ball game. A walk and a hit batter, and Trey Swigert will come to the plate with the Knights leading 1-0. Great to be back with the Knights baseball and see familiar faces. A tremendous job done the last several summers by Amanda Knight. A throw to first base from David Roberts and Chance Flores back to the bag. Chance was backpicked by catcher Hudson Flora, and got caught in a rundown to end the first inning. One would expect him to be a little bit more chary in his approach as he gets his lead held on by Cale Barney. David Roberts from the stretch, and there goes Chance. He got a good jump on the hit and run play. A fly ball to shallow right field. Matthew Major comes in a hurry, makes the catch, throws to first. Double play. And it's been kind of a misadventure for Chance on the bases tonight. A hit and run play, and the ball hit to right field, and Chance, instead of kind of gauging where the ball was in flight, he got almost all the way to second before turning around and heading back to first, and Matthew Major able to double him up. The Chance has made 2 outs between first and second here tonight on unconventional kind of plays. That double play goes 9-3. 2 down. It's too bad because Chance had a great jump. He would have had stolen base with ease. Now 2 outs and nobody on. Changeup. Xavier Rios swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it. Xavier swung at the first pitch last inning, produced a ground rule double down the left field line. Brooke Knight has his notebook out, and he walked over to the Knights dugout on the third base side to impart something, whether to Chance or Trey, I'm not sure. But whether a sign was missed, I'm not sure that Chance, quite when I think about his route to second, ever looked back in. I think he might have thought it was a straight steal and was surprised when he was told to get back. So Brooke he's still writing notes down after the fact, pulling the notebook out. The pitch to Rios, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 Knights in the third. Left-hander David Roberts looking to face the minimum, comes to the plate, fastball just inside. Brooke taking the notebook out, and when we think about Big League Chew tonight, and it is Big League Chew trading card night here for the Corvallis Knights, one must think of the late, great Jim Bouton. The 2-2 pitch, a chopper to third, fielded by Nolan Rowe. The long throw across to first is in time. I'll share the connection again. It's a great, wonderful story, birthed during the era of the battered bastards of baseball and the Portland Mavericks. Why we have Big League Chew and the late, great Jim Bouton part of that story, a major part of it. And I'll share that as we continue. The Knights get a hit batter, then a double play, then a ground out, and we're through 3. It's the Knights 1 and the Berries nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. The Marion Berries no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. We go to the 4th. Right-hander Nick Salins to the plate. First pitch swung on and cued foul towards the Marion dugout off the bat of Evan Berg. No balls and a strike. Watching Brooke Knight pull the notepad out got me thinking about all the note-taking that Bulldog Bouton engaged in 1969. The strike one breaking ball from Salins is in there, and the count 0-2. The 1 year of the Seattle Pilots' existence has, in a sense, been sanctified by the fact that Jim Bouton wrote the classic Ball 4, most of which was set playing for Joe Schultz and the Pilots in '69, playing with the likes of Mike Marshall and Lou Piniella. Pitch missing high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Evan Berg. 1-0 Knights in the 4th. Nick Salins back to the plate and misses outside. Ball 2, 2-2. Jim would take copious notes during the season in airports, hotel lobbies, on airplane flights. The late, great Bill Schonely, the legendary voice of the Trailblazers, was the original voice with Jimmy Dudley of the Seattle Pilots in '69. The 2-2 pitch missing to Evan Berg, high and inside. Ball 3, 3-2. 1-0 Knights in the 4th. Evan popped out to short in his first at-bat. Salin shakes off Xavier Rios, now comes back with a 3-2 pitch, grounded back at first, speared by Chance Flores. Nice play, and runs into the bag for the out. 1 away, good play by Chance to his left, and a nice job by Salins to fill up the zone. 1 away, and Martin Serrano, who flied to left field in the first, a first pitch swing for Martin for the out to end the first, will step in. But Bouton had an idea, whether it was completely his or that of Leonard Schechter, about his comeback into the major leagues, and after his glory years with the Yankees, a 21-game winner in 1963, an 18-game winner, and won 2 World Series games in '64, blew out his arm, lost his fastball, strike 1 pitch, swung on and missed by Serrano in the count 0-2. Reinvented himself, coming back up, and selected in the expansion draft off the Yankees roster by the Seattle Pilots. The strike 2 pitch taken low, ball 1, 1-2. 1-0 Knights in the 4th. 1-2 to Serrano, 1 away, nobody on. Gavin Price on deck. Jim thought, well, I think I'll keep a diary of my year back in the majors with the Pilots. The 1-2 pitch, Serrano tried to check his swing, but went around. Strike 3, 2 down. Gavin Price, the batter, Gavin plied to right field in the second. But wherever Bouton was, he'd be writing, either notes or the actual journal diary itself, which became the classic Ball 4. Gavin Price takes outside, ball 1. During the course of that season, Bill Schonely on the plane one day says to Bouton, who was busily scribbling notes, "What are you doing, Bouton, writing a book?" The 1-0 fastball to Price in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. And Jim said, "Bill, just wait and see." And Bill waited, we all saw. It's a true classic, Ball 4. The 1-1 pitch hit foul into Urchin Alley. This one just over the fence to my right, and the Urchins giving chase. 1-2 the count. For good or ill, good or bad, it's still the best of the sort of inside look, tell-all books. The 1-2 pitch taken, strike 3 called, and another 1-2-3 inning for right-hander Nick Salins, who is pitching extremely well. And whether that's the end of the line for Nick, we'll find out. But he looks as though he would have plenty more in the tank. 2 more strikeouts, 4 over the last 2 innings, and he retires the Berries in order. Bouton wrote Ball 4 and then reinvented himself again with the Portland Mavericks in 1977, hanging on to an independent opportunity, and met Rob Nelson there. And Big League Chew, between the two of them, came into existence. On this Big League Chew night, we'll finish the story as time permits. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still, the Knights 1 and Marion nothing back in '90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
force. Start the force. Growing forests, not just trees. We've got some celebrations here at the stadium this evening. Happy birthday, Amanda! That's our on-field personality. Let's give it up for Amanda. Happy birthday, Emery. Happy birthday, Alex. And happy 62nd anniversary to John and Pam. And also happy retirement to Jen. Out to play for the Knights, number 6, the left fielder, Zane Garvey.
One nothing Knights to the bottom of the fourth. David Roberts missing to Zane Garvey. The 2-0 pitch whacked to center, moving back on the ball is Evan Berg. Good read, reaches up to backhand it, one away in the bottom of the fourth. Evan Berg making a nice play, still dealing with some windy and bright, sunny conditions. Tougher on the people on the left side, but still did a good job to read it with the wind blowing out. Hauls it in for the first out in the bottom of the fourth. Zane had singled to left when the Knights scored the game's only run in the second inning. Archer Horn drove it in with a ground out to second. He swings at a change from David Roberts, doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. One out, nobody on, bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Knights, winning last night 3-2. And with a tenuous 1-0 lead here in the fourth tonight. David to the plate, breaking ball up, and the count 1-1 to Archer Horn. Boughton joined Rob Nelson in the Portland Mavericks bullpen. Nelson was a bullpen catcher, didn't play much for the Mavericks. Fastball swung on and missed. If you haven't seen the Battered Bastards of Baseball documentary about Bing Russell and Kurt Russell and the existence of the independent Portland Mavericks 1973 through 1977. It's a great watch, a tremendous documentary. The 1-2 pitch to Archer Horn, high and away, ball 2, 2-2. Rob Nelson, the inventor of Big League Chew, is featured prominently in the documentary, but the co-founder, Boughton and Nelson together in a Portland Mavericks bullpen in the summer of '77, watching pro ball players with the Mavericks spitting tobacco, and both commenting how disgusting the habit was. The 2-2 pitch missing for ball 3, 3-2 to Archer Horn. One out, nobody on. The 3-2 pitch, slider taken, strike 3 called, 2 down. Good pitch from David Roberts. And Archer Horn rung up for the second out. Tate Hammond, who drew a walk in the second, will come to the plate. Rob and Boughton, when you're in a bullpen in the summer, it's baseball, the most garrulous, gregarious of sports. A lot of talking and chatting, play Name That Tune in the natural during a ball game. Just sitting around in the bullpen. The pitch to Hammond, a ground ball to second. Liam O'Connor fields and throws to first in a very quick and efficient inning for David Roberts, who was scuffling with his control earlier. Not now. He retires the Knights in order, has faced the minimum over the last 2, and we are through 4. But it was over that conversation that watching ball players spit, disgusting. And Rob Nelson told a story about what motivated him to create an alternative. And we're celebrating it here tonight. We go to the 5th. The Knights won, the Berries nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word, we give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses. And we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
One nothing Knights to the top of the fifth inning. The first pitch to Matthew Major from Nick Salins missing. The 1-0 changeup swung on and missed to even the count at 1-1. Salins back to the plate to Major, who takes strike two. 1-2 the count. The game's lone run scored by the Knights in the second inning. Nick Salins has pitched an outstanding ball game. Ahead of the count to Major, who tripled but then was thrown out at the plate trying to score on a ground ball on the infield. He hits one to the shortstop, Archer Horn. Horn fields and throws over to first for the out. And that'll bring to the plate Cale Barney. Cale hit the ground ball on the fielder's choice. 3-2 for the out on Matthew Major trying to score from third base after tripling. The best hit ball of the night without question. Matthew crushing a ball over the head of Max Medina in center field, got to third but was thrown out at the plate. So it's still a 1-0 lead for the Knights with Nick Salins delivering a strike to Cale Barney. 0-1 the count to the left-hand hitting first baseman out of Nolensville, Tennessee. The strike one pitch swung on and missed, and Salins ahead of the count 0-2. What a ball game that Nick has pitched. He's not allowed a base runner since the triple from Matthew Major. The strike two pitch foul to the left and out of play. The count remains no balls and two strikes, and in fact, that is the only base runner, the hit that he's allowed. Barney after the triple aboard on the fielder's choice, but what a gem that Nick is throwing. Comes to the plate, fastball swung on and missed. Strike three. 2 down. Hudson Plora, the batter. The marriage of bubble gum and baseball cards coming together with the invention of Big League Chew, and that Nelly, good friends with Dan Siegel, and would be here sharing his own story with us tonight. He had eye surgery recently, so couldn't make the trip down from the Portland area where he lives, and a great ambassador for baseball. His great product, Big League Chew, a tremendous American success story. Inventing the product in a Portland Mavericks bullpen in the summer of '77 with inspiration and financial backing from the Bulldog himself, the late, great Jim Bouton. Flora takes high and away. The 1-0 pitch off speed and high, ball 2-0. Flora flied to right in his first at-bat. 1-0 Knights in the fifth. But Nelson said he grew up with a baseball card of Nellie Fox with a big old chew in the cheek. That cheek would be way out there filled with chewing tobacco. And Rob Nelson, who was called Nellie and a hero thus, Nellie Fox, the baseball card showing him with that big chunk of chew in his right cheek. The 2-1 fastball from Salins in there. 2-2 the count to Hudson Plora. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 Knights in the fifth. So he thought he better chew tobacco to establish that look, but he instead, for the kids, for the health of youngsters, invented Big League Chew so they would at least have an alternative to trying to look like their favorite ball players like Nellie did, and wanting to look like Nellie growing up in upstate New York back in the 50s and idolizing the Hall of Famer Nellie Fox. But Bouton and Nelson created it, and it's here tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike three. Nick Salins has 2 strikeouts in each of the last 3 innings. Tremendous outing for Nick, who deserves a bubblegum card of his own without question. He's pitching a great ball game. And so is his counterpart, David Roberts, who had some control difficulties early, but has settled in. We have ourselves a pitcher's duel. Roberts trots back out to the mound. As we go to the bottom of the fifth, it remains the Knights 1 and the Berries nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Free entree. That's right. Grab a free entree from Corvallis when you turn in Gregory. Don't forget to join us for our next home game Monday, June 15th. Will be LBCC night, and we're giving away 9 $1,000 scholarships. Get your tickets now at CorvallisNights.com. Thank you for attending. Leading off the bottom half of the fifth inning, it's number 3 and the second baseman, Berkeley Wentz.
Bottom of the fifth inning. A genuine pitcher's duel we've settled into. 1-0 Knights. David Roberts battled himself early. 2 walks in each of the first 2 innings, but has really settled in. He goes to work on Berkeley Rents and misses low, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, Berkeley, a 1-hopper to the right of Liam O'Connor. He backhands and throws to first. Good contact, but an out. Berkeley had walked in the second. He makes an out here to lead matters off for the Knights in the bottom of the fifth. 1 away, and the Knights leadoff hitter, Max Medina, coming up. A little bit later in this ball game, Lil King, a.k.a. Justin Sloan. We've known him as Lil King his entire 15-year run here with the Corvallis Knights, and this is final night in the gear as one of the beloved characters and figures and mascots in Corvallis Knights baseball history. Calling it a career after tonight. Max Medina takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Roberts back to the plate. Breaking ball misses inside. Max is grounded to first and struck out. And a longtime PA voice of the Corvallis Knights. Now, you who are Marion Berries fans have enjoyed the stylings of Bobby Merwin at Chemeketa Community College last year and again this year. Bobby Merwin joining me here on the broadcast to talk about a friend and a person he has known and admired, as we all have, in Lil King. The 1-1 pitch, a 1-2 pitch, pardon me, to Max Medina, misses low and inside, ball 2, 2-2. Bobby, it's nice to see you.
Thank you,
Glad
sir.
you're here tonight.
Thank you.
I know you wouldn't miss Justin's
No, I would not.
swan song, his coup de grace here tonight. The 2-2 pitch, a little tapper up along first, foul, and it remains 2-2. It's good to see you, and I hope.
you.
Are you? Before we get to Justin,
Yeah.
how much fun are you having with the Berries?
Oh, God, it's been great. Just watching the growth, what they walked into. I remember that very first game you were there, and
Yes.
I walked over and said hi to you, and we couldn't believe how many people were there that first night.
Yeah. And I hear, I haven't been there yet, but I'll see it soon, that the ballpark, that they've made tremendous improvements. The pitch on the way just inside, the count 3-2 to Max Medina. Would you say, yeah, that's true?
I can't wait for you to see it.
Okay.
It's truly amazing. You're going to be gobsmacked when you get there.
Excellent. 3-2 the count to Max Medina, 1-0 Knights. David Roberts, who's gone all the way, delivers a ground ball back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Just the third hit of the ball game for the Knights. The Berries have but one. It's a 1-0 lead for the Knights. Nice piece of hitting by Max Medina. And Joey Morosco, the hitter, has walked and grounded to third. Well, I look forward to getting back up there again, Bobby, and hearing you and seeing the ballpark.
Thank you.
I remember calling Eugene Emeralds baseball games there, 85 and 86, when the Eugene Emeralds would play the Salem Angels as part of the Northwest League in that ballpark. And I remember even then climbing up. Are you still climbing up the
I was just going to say, I think that
ladder?
press box was still there.
Yeah, it was there in the mid-'80s, and it was last year, too.
It definitely was, and there's talks about making some differences.
Okay, but you're still climbing the
the
metal.
ladder.
Okay,
yes.
that's all right. I like it. It's a nice tradition.
It really is.
The pitch missing to Joey Morosco, ball 1-0. David Roberts over to first base, threw it high. Cale Barney went up to get it. Medina, a one-out single. The Knights trying to find, they left the bases loaded back in the second. Since then, have done very little. A one-out single from Medina. Joey Morosco at the plate with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. A short lead at first. David Roberts set and throws back over to first, and again Medina back. So I look forward to that. But I know you came here tonight to honor Justin.
Yes.
What would you share with us about Lil King and your friendship and just watching him at work over these last 15 years?
Well, he's like an ambassador. You know, I worked here for the Knights for over 5 years. And
Roberts to the plate, a bunt in the air, foul, and the count 1-1.
And every time you came into the park, he had a smile on his face. He was jovial. He was happy to see you. And it was everybody. It's like he had this aura that just kind of infected everybody in a positive way.
And it's my understanding, without hearing it directly from Justin tonight, but it's a lot of wear and tear. He's worked hard, and it's physically demanding. The 1-1 pitch, low, ball 2-1, and after 15 years, I think it's just, his body is saying, hey, you might want to shut things down a bit in terms of all the activity that being Lil King entails.
Yes.
And he'll be missed. He's a great presence in this ballpark. 2-1 to Joey Morosco. Breaking ball, a strike. And for the first time tonight, Morosco, Knights hitter, Brooke Knight, and a few fans questioning that call. Schofield's been pretty stingy for the most part. He expanded the zone, it appeared, a bit there to run the count 2-2 with Medina at first, 1 out. Medina goes. The 2-2 pitch is grounded into right field, base hit. Medina will go to third on the textbook execution of the hit and run. The Mahatma Branch Rickey said, of all mysteries in the world, Greek mysteries, Persian mysteries, whatever mysteries you can put forth, the greatest is. And the most beautiful sight in the world is the perfect execution of the hit and run in all of our existence on earth, according to Branch Rickey, and we just saw it, Bobby. That's
we did.
Beautiful
that was
baseball.
Perfect.
Hit and run with Medina going. Second baseman Liam O'Connor broke to cover, and Joey Morosco hit it behind him into right. So the Knights with runners at first and third. Chance Flores, who's walked and been hit by a pitch, stands in. The first pitch is in the turf. Ball 1-0. Great execution of the hit and run. Brooke Knight trying to push some buttons to get something established for the Knights. Left 15 men on last night and yet won. Can that person be 21 years of age delivering that? I don't know.
I don't know.
There goes the runner from first, and breaking and coming to the plate and being thrown out at the plate is Max Medina. Morosco breaking, and the Knights make another out at the plate and on the bases. And Joey Morosco, with the Knights, always ultra aggressive. But for the second time tonight, a runner thrown out at the plate for the Knights. Into second base goes Joey Morosco. 2 down. And the pitch is poked into center field, base hit. The Knights are going to get a run out of it after all. Morosco rounds third base and scores, and a nice job by Chance Flores to poke a single into center field, get Morosco home, and take a little sting out of Medina getting picked off. 1-3-6-2 thrown out at the plate for the second out of the inning, but Chance Flores picks everybody's spirits up with a base hit to center. The Knights lead it 2-0, and that's probably going to be the end of the line for David Roberts, with the pitching coach Lindsey McCarger, coming out. We're talking about Justin Sloan, and we'll see a pitching change here. So, Bobby, before we take the pitching change break, just a couple of more thoughts on Justin and why it was important for you to be here tonight. Go ahead.
It's hard not to support him. He's such a very charismatic and caring person. You know, I've spent many a day with him and hours with him before here at the park, and I've watched him start to deteriorate, if you will. He's had health problems and health issues, and, you know, his personal health issues have been exacerbated by the exercises that he's been doing out here.
Right.
So we all knew it was time. He came to a couple of Berries games, talked to me, visited with the people, and, you know, he's a bit verklempt about it, but he's going to persevere.
Well, Bobby, I appreciate you coming by, and more important, I appreciate you being here tonight to honor Justin. I think in the 8th inning there'll be an official public address announcement and so on. Something you handled very well here over the years.
Well,
I missed your voice, missed seeing you around, but I'm
you.
glad you're up the road, and we'll see you later in the summer up at Chemeketa Community College. Thanks for coming by.
I think in a couple of weeks.
Good to see you, Bobby.
Okay.
Bobby Merwin, the PA voice of the Berries. A new pitcher, Daniel Camus, into the ball game for the Marion Berries. The Knights have added a run. They lead it 2-0. A pitching change break. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Knights live stream. Back in a minute on Joe Radio. I think, and thanks to Cole Weber, Cole, the voice of the Berries, Bobby Merwin, the PA voice of the Berries, Kamau, not Camus, my apologies, Daniel Kamau out of South Hills High School, Paul Vasquez Country, a former Marion Berry, an outstanding season for the Knights, for the Berries last summer and for the Beavers this spring at Oregon State. From San Dimas in the Southland, Daniel Kamau to the plate. Knights leading 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. A 2-out RBI single for Chance Flores, scoring Joey Marasco to pick up everybody's spirits. Trey Swigert takes the first pitch from Kamau for a strike. 0-1 the count. Boy, the Urchins are lined up. They are in great anticipation for a foul ball. They won't get one from the left-hand hitting Swigert, but the Urchins, as loud as I've heard them in almost any summer through the years here, behind me to the right. Swigert, a ground ball into right field, base hit. Chance Flores will stop at second. Matthew Major getting the ball back in. For the Knights, their 4th hit of the inning, but they've had a man thrown out at the plate, so they haven't necessarily maximized the opportunity. They lead it 2-0 with 4 hits. All singles here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Xavier Rios, who has the lone extra base hit, a double down the left field line, and scored the Knights' other run back in the 2nd. Steps in. Kamau's fastball misses high and away. Ball 1-0. Chance Flores at second, Trey Swigert at first, and 2 down. 1 ball and no strikes to Xavier Rios, has doubled and grounded to third. A 1-0 pitch from Kamau, down and away, ball 2, 2-0. The Knights will be at Vince Guinness Stadium in Bend over the weekend. Yours truly with the call, Friday, Saturday, 6:35, 5:05 on Sunday. I haven't seen it, but if anyone can send along a forecast for Bend, will we be also receiving a heat wave of sorts over there? I know it's going to be in the mid-90s here on Sunday. The pitch on the way to Xavier Rios, hit foul off first. Cale Barney into foul territory near the first base box, reaches up to make the catch. And all things considered for Marion here in the fifth, not a bad outcome. The Knights bang out 4 hits and settle for a run and leave 2. And at the end of 5, with Nick Salins returning and Lil King out on the field on his final night of entertaining the fans as he has done so these last 15 summers, a beloved figure here, as Bobby Merwin just said. Lil King getting ready to go again. One of his last times on this field. At the end of 5, the Knights 2 and Marion nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At bat, number 2, the second baseman, Lee O'Connor.
Two nothing Knights to the 6th inning. Liam O'Connor fouls the first pitch back. Now the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, taken, strike 3 called, and Nick Salins continues his utter brilliance in this ball game tonight. He now has a 2-run lead to work with. 3 consecutive strikeouts, and now 7 since the 2nd inning for Nick Salins. A 3-pitch punch out of Liam O'Connor. Nolan Rowe, the batter. Nolan grounded to third in his first at-bat. Nick to the plate, breaking ball away, ball 1. 1-0. Matthew Major tripled with 1 out in the second. Without question, the best hit ball of the night. The 1-0 pitch hit foul over my head. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Nolan Rowe. And the Urchins giving chase. They have been loud and anticipating, and they are all over that down in Urchin Alley. More Urchins than I've ever seen before. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. 1 out, nobody on in the 6th. The Knights leading 2-0. Major tripled, then was thrown out at the plate on a fielder's choice. 11 straight retired by Nick Salins since the triple by Major. 7 of them by strikeout. He comes back to the plate and misses, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nolan Rowe. Leadoff hitter Sawyer Nelson on deck. Nick to the plate, fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3, 2 down. 4 straight strikeouts for Nick Salins. He's retired 12 in a row, 8 by strikeout, and that'll bring to the plate Sawyer Nelson. Nelson is flied to center and struck out. Wow, what an outing by Nick Salins. He doesn't have a whole lot to work with, the 2-0 lead. The pitch to Sawyer swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. But he has been a joy to watch work tonight. The pride of Lincoln High School in Seattle. Back to the plate, a line drive toward the gap into right center field. That breaks up the string. The ball rolls all the way to the base of the fence. Morosco chases it down, and into second base goes Sawyer Nelson, ripping a double to the gap in right center field. Well, a tremendous outing for Nick Salins. He's given up a triple and a double, the only hits that he's yielded. And in fact, the 2 extra base hits is all. The triple was erased when Major tried to score on a chopper to first. Chance Flores with the assist to the plate to Xavier Rios. Now a 2-out double for Sawyer Nelson. Evan Berg, the batter, with Marion through it all, still very much in this ball game. A 2-0 lead for the Knights, and the Urchins again are clamoring for some more action in Urchin Alley. The word's gotten out. Changeup swung on and missed. The count 0-1 to Evan Berg. I mean, honestly, over the years, I have talked affectionately, fondly, often about youngsters hanging out in Urchin Alley. They eschew coming in to watch the ball game, and they play catch out in the alley, and they wait for foul balls. They have gloves on, and they're anticipating more action. There's been a few foul balls hit into Urchin Alley tonight, but it's one of the traditions at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field in the summertime. The Urchins in the alley. Breaking ball misses in the count 1-1. 2-0 Knights, top of the 6th, 2 down. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. 1-2 the count to Evan Berg, who has popped to short and grounded out to first base. Nick Salins ready, working on the pride of Kenner, Louisiana, Evan Berg. Fastball, Berg nearly offered, takes it high and inside. Good take, he nearly offered. Berg seems to say something, I'm not sure, in affirmation to the home plate umpire Perry Schofield, but they both seem to be on the same page as to whatever Berg's communication was. Spent the spring at Tulane. Takes the 2-2 pitch down and away, ball 3. 3-2. Evan's mother, Lori, played volleyball at Ole Miss. His dad, baseball at Spring Hill College in Mobile. Very athletic family, and he indeed has looked like a very good ball player here in the brief sample size in this series between the Knights and Berries. He swings and slaps one foul just below the Omaha room here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Omaha room, as it's called, necessitated by and built after the trips to Omaha for Pat Casey and the Beavers in 05, 06, and 07, national championships in 06, 07. A subsequent trip in 13 led to the building of the Omaha room. The 3-2 pitch, a ground ball to short. Archer Horn bobbles, picks it up, throws to first, and he pulls Chance Flores off the bag. The inning is still alive. Archer Horn nearly got the out even after bobbling the ground ball. It's an error all the way on Horn. Runners at first and third and 2 down. Brooke Knight comes out to talk to the home plate umpire, or the base umpire, Derek Dunbar. I think had Archer kept Chance Flores on the bag at first, that even with the bobble at short, that an out would have been recorded. But the throw pulled Flores off the bag. Chance did not maintain contact. And Brooke somehow, even though I don't think he's right, the runner is safe. Flores' foot was not on the bag. At least that's how I saw it. Brooke may have seen it differently, and he's got a better angle. He asked the umpires to confer, and Perry Schofield and Derek Dunbar do just that. And the safe signal is given. And now the first trip, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, 6th-year pitching coach Bo Kearns on his way to the mound. With runners at the corners and 2 down, the inning should be over. I know Archer Horn's going to wear that a little bit. Bo is out. There could indeed be activity going on in the Knights bullpen. Nick Salins getting ready to face Martin Serrano, who's flied to left and struck out. When Bo goes out, he usually is out just for a visit. Brooke Knight generally executes the pitching changes. Home plate umpire Perry Schofield wandering out to break up the meeting, and Bo does return by himself to the dugout on the third base side. With runners at first and third and 2 down, Martin Serrano to the plate. The big left-handed hitting catcher, 6'3", 210 out of Pocatello, who began his career with the Beavers, has an opportunity to get a clutch 2-out hit and get the Berries on the board. First and third, 2 down. Anything off of Salins would be unearned. Breaking ball, strike, and the count 0-1 to Martin Serrano. Back-to-back strikeouts to open the inning. Sawyer Nelson ripped a double to the gap into right center. Evan Berg aboard on an error. First and third, 2 down. The left-hand hitting Serrano awaits. A throw over to first base. Back to the bag goes Evan Berg. Berg is a runner. And we'll see if Tucker Brock might be of a mind to send Eric, who's 10 for Evan, I should say, 10 for 10 in stolen bases thus far in the early season. Berg getting his lead held on by Flores. The strike one pitch is swung on and missed by Serrano. And the count to Martin 0-2. And again, Tucker Brock had great things to say about Martin. And we didn't get to know him well enough at Oregon State. I met his father and Martin himself on a visit to Corvallis. Was looking forward to seeing Martin develop here. Instead, he's off to Ohio State. The strike 2 pitch, a runner goes, and Berg does not elicit a throw from Xavier Rios. And Berg into second with his 11th stolen base in his many attempts. So the tying runs in scoring position. And a night where Nick Salins has been dominant. Nevertheless, the Berries are a base hit away from getting this ball game even. Nelson at third, Berg at second, Serrano awaits. Salins from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch, a ground ball on 2 hops to Archer Horn. Up with it and gets another chance and makes it count. Fires across to first for the out on what likely will be the final pitch thrown by Nick Salins, and he deserved 6 scoreless innings as the out recorded 6-3. Tremendous outing for Nick Salins. A new pitcher coming in for the Marion Berries. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's the Knights 2 and the Berries nothing back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
The new pitcher for the Marion Berries is right-hander Jackson Blank as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights leading by a score of 2-0. Zane Garvey will lead things off for the Knights. Zane will be followed by Archer Horn and then Tate Hammond. Jackson Blank out of Magnolia, Texas, delivers a breaking ball down and in, ball one. 1-0 to Zane, who has singled to left and plied to center. Out of Magnolia West High School in Magnolia, Texas. The 1-0 pitch lifted high and fairly deep to left, but playable. Gavin Price backs up a couple of steps with the wind pushing it, but Gavin able to put it away. One away in the bottom of the sixth. Archer Horn with an RBI ground out in the second. Struck out in the fourth, coming to the plate here in the bottom of the sixth. Jackson Blank has pitched at Rice over the past 3 years, 46 appearances. First pitch in there for a strike and the count 0-1. Jackson's father, Matt, pitched 2 years with the Montreal Expos in 2000 and 2001. He works out of the stretch, does Jackson, with nobody on, comes to the plate and misses high and away. Dick and Dave up in the booth. Legrand Dorange, Rusty Staub, Gene Mock back in the early days, the Jim Boughton days, 69, Jerry Park Jerry. 1 ball and 1 strike. The elder Blank came along a little bit after that. Olympic Stadium, I still think, was in play, was it not then? And those early years of the Expos, pretty exciting. Don Clendenin, Mac Jones, right? The 2-1 pitch swung on and hit foul off to the left and out of play. Coco LeBoy. I'm just trying to remember old Montreal Expos baseball cards from the early era of the Expos. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maury Wills was an Expo. Jackie Robinson, before he broke into the major leagues, spent a memorable season in the Dodgers organization in Montreal. The 2-2 pitch missing up and in, ball 3. 3-2 to Archer Horn. 1 out, nobody on. 2-0 Knights in the bottom of the sixth. Fastball on the 3-2 pitch is taken. Strike 3 called. 2 down. A nice job in the sequence by Blank. Looks like he knows his way around the mound and certainly grew up in a tremendous baseball household with his father, a major league pitcher. At least, I'm going to have to do a little more research the next time we play. Cole, if you're listening. First pitch breaking ball to Tate Hammond. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. 2 down, nobody on. The note that I received from Cole, and I haven't gone deeper and should have, on Jackson's father. 2 years with the Expos is all I've got. I assume that's pitching, but I don't know. Breaking ball in there for a strike. And the count 0-2, whatever the case. The baseball IQ and just the ability to ply his craft from the mound, one would think, has always been at a high level, and it certainly is here against the Knights in the sixth. The strike 2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3, and Jackson Blank. Anything but blanks. Firing strikes and retires the Knights in order in the sixth. After 6, the Knights 2 and the Berries nothing. The Knights will have a new pitcher, I would think, as we go to the 7th, and they will. After 6, the Knights 2, and we have a pitching change break, so we'll take a 2-minute break here, Brian and company. 2-minute pitching change break. 2-0 Knights going to the 7th, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too. belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment. Or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
New pitcher for the Knights, number 43, Jake Brand. Leading off, the left fielder, number 22, Gavin Price.
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Marion, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Lil King just made the climb up the stairs. Justin Sloan, we hugged it out. He said it's been a great 15 years, and boy, that's an understatement. It has been a tremendous 15 with that gentleman working so hard night in and night out over the summer nights, helping to make Goss Stadium at Coleman Field such a special place. And he's getting some well-deserved love and affection from the fans throughout this ballpark here tonight. We go to the 7th for the Corvallis Knights. 6'7", 180-pound right-hander Jake Brand into the ball game. Jake, long and lanky, delivers a first pitch fastball for a strike. The 0-1 pitch is belted to center field. Twisting and turning, going back on the ball is Max Medina. Gavin Price into second with a leadoff double. A rude greeting for Jake Brand. That ball well hit. The third hit of the night for the Marion Berries, and all 3 have been for extra bases. A triple and now 2 doubles on a great night of pitching for Jake's predecessor, Knights starter, Nick Salins. Salins gave up 2 hits, a triple and a double, but he ended up striking out 8. He did not walk a batter. He was sensational tonight. Jake Brand gives up a double to lead matters off here in the 7th. And Jake and the bullpen will try to bring a well-deserved win home for Nick Salins, with the Knights leading 2-0 in the 7th. Jake's first pitch is in there for a strike to Matthew Major. 0-1 the count. Jake Brand, 6'7", 180, an incoming freshman to Cal Poly. The big right-hander set, kicks and comes to the plate. Breaking ball popped up to shallow center. Going out is Berkeley Rentz. Rentz still going out to backhand it. Nice job by Berkeley to stay with it for the out. Max Medina broke back on the ball and thus had no chance to catch it coming in. And Berkeley did a good job to stay with it, and go back to make the catch in shallow right center. 1 away, Gavin Price remains at second, and Cale Barney will be the hitter. The first pitch to the left-hand hitting Barney, an incoming freshman to Oregon State, swung on and missed. Jake on his way to Larry Lee's outstanding program in San Luis Obispo out of Temecula. The strike 1 pitch is in there for strike 2, 0-2 the count. And throughout the rest of the summer and throughout Jake's career, I know I'll be following him closely. And this is not the time or place to share, at least tonight, what I have learned in reading about Jake. The strike 2 pitch swung on and hit foul back at the plate and out of play. But I would refer you to, and I think it's on Yahoo Sports via the Los Angeles Times, one of the more touching, poignant, heart-rending, and heartbreaking stories, but a story of this young man's life and Jake and just an unimaginable ordeal for Jake's family. A chopper back of first, fielded by Chance Flores. Chance runs into the bag for out number 2. I'm just getting tears in my eyes thinking about it all. And I did as I read Eric Sondheimer's story. I'll leave it at that for now. But if you're able to look it up, it'll give you a sense of appreciation for Jake and his family, and again, just the things that are just so difficult to even ponder and think about. Eric Sondheimer wrote a touching story about Jake and his family and his brother whom he lost in a battle with cancer. And I was moved by the story, reading about Rock Chalowski from UCLA and reading about Johnny, his younger brother, getting to throw out a ceremonial first pitch at Dodger Stadium. And just really incredible stuff. The real stuff of life. And Jake will be pitching for the Knights all summer. If you have an opportunity to read that story, please do. Eric Sondheimer, the writer, and I found it on Yahoo Sports. 2-0 Knights in the 7th. Gavin Price going to third base on the ground out. Hudson Flora at the plate with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike has flied to right and struck out. Jake Brand trying to keep the shutout intact. Kicks and comes to the plate. A ground ball to the right of Archer Horn. Charges gloves, throws, and gets him to retire the side. Good play by Archer Horn and Jake Brand. A nice inning for the Corvallis Knights. It's great to have him here. Honored to have him in the program, and en route to Cal Poly. Puts up another scoreless inning in spite of the leadoff double off the bat of Gavin Price for Marion. No runs, 1 hit, and Gavin Price left at third. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It remains the Knights 2 and the Berries nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-0 Knights. Ryan Hockman delivers to Berkeley Rentz a first pitch strike. The 0-1 change swung on and missed by Berkeley. 0-2 the count. Berkeley has walked and grounded to second. Brooke Knight vacates his post at third and heads over to the Knights dugout to say something to someone. It looks as though he's talking to Archer Horn, in fact, about something. The strike 2 pitch to Berkeley Rentz misses in the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch slashed foul into the netting beyond where Brooke Knight was normally stationed. Brooke will chase down the foul ball on his own. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Berkeley Rentz. Ryan Hockman pitched last night, pitching again here tonight, delivers in the turf, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hockman back to the plate, a line drive, base hit to left field off the bat of Berkeley Rentz. Gavin Price scoops it up, fires it back in. Berkeley, a leadoff single in the bottom of the 7th inning, with the Knights looking to add on a bit, get a little more cushion in seeking to get to the final 6 outs in this ball game after winning in a thriller last night, a walk-off wild pitch in the bottom of the 9th, a 3-2 victory, leading this one 2-0. And we'll see if Max Medina, who's been swinging it well, may be asked to bunt. And he does bunt, and he bunts a foul ball. They're calling the batter out. I'm not sure what the call is here by Perry Schofield. The bunt was foul, it appeared, by Max Medina, and Perry Schofield is calling Medina out for something. He bunted, trying to bunt for a sacrifice, and I'm not sure what the call is here on Schofield's part. Whether he interfered with the catcher, perhaps Hudson Flora, trying to come out and make a play, but it was a very decisive call on Schofield's part, a little bit of a whimper of protestation on the part of Brooke Knight and Max Medina himself, but Max is called out. I don't think he was touched by the ball in fair territory. I think he must have been called out for interference, but that's something I'm going to have to learn tomorrow and try to convey from Bend what exactly the ruling was. But Berkeley Rentz goes back to first base. Medina is out, catcher unassisted. The pitch to Joey Morosco in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Joey has walked, grounded to third, and singled to right field. He scored the Knights' second run. On a hit-and-run play, a ground ball wide of first, the throw to the second baseman, Liam O'Connor, in time for the force at second on Berkeley Rentz. Or Max Medina, pardon me, who was Rentz going on the pitch from first base. And Rentz, even though going, is thrown out on a good play by Cale Barney on the fielder's choice off the bat of Joey Morosco, 3-6. 2 down. The Knights have had some interesting ventures on the base paths this ball game. The pitch on the way to Chance Flores, a 2-hopper to Liam O'Connor, and O'Connor throws to first, and that's that very quickly. Berkeley Rentz a leadoff single, but just like that, the inning is over. Chance Flores, who had driven in a run in his last at-bat, bounces out here. Jake Brand to the hill. We go to the 8th at the end of 7. The Knights 2 and the Berries nothing back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment. Or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Two to nothing Knights, top of the 8th inning. Liam O'Connor, first ball swinging against Jake Brand. A high pop-up on the left side. Shortstop Archer Horn backs up, makes the catch. One pitch, one away in the top of the 8th inning. O'Connor now 0 for 3. Nolan Rowe will come to the plate. Nolan 0 for 2 is grounded to third and struck out. The Knights a run in the second and a run in the 5th. Nick Salen's 6 brilliant scoreless innings. Jake Brand touched for a double upon entering the game last inning, but Stranded Gavin Price at third. Now works Nolan Rowe. First pitch strike. 0-1 the count. One out, nobody on in the eighth. Game 3 of this series Monday night right back here. Big breaking ball in there for a strike. And Jake ahead of the count. No balls and 2 strikes with Sawyer Nelson on deck. 1-0 or 2-0 Knights. One out, nobody on in the top of the eighth inning. The Knights will be in Bend this weekend. Marion coming home to the Ridgefield Raptors. Then the two will meet again here Monday. Breaking ball hooked down the left field line, foul, and into the corner. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Nolan Rowe. Nolan played with the Yakima Valley Pippins last year, had a big game, a big season, hit .372, played in just 1 game this past spring with Washington out of North Kitsap High School. Kitsap, a former spot in the West Coast League. We've seen different changes through the years and the evolution. Seen a lot of different cities come and go. Good breaking ball in there for strike 3 called. Nolan Rowe goes down on strikes. Excellent pitch by Jake Brand. 2 down. He's retired 5 in a row since the double last inning. And Sawyer Nelson, the batter. Sawyer has flied to center, struck out, and doubled to right. 2 runs, 7 hits, an error for the Knights. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Marion. All 3 hits have been for extra bases for the Berries. Brand delivers, and the pitch to Sawyer misses high and inside. Evan Berg on deck. 1 ball and no strikes to Sawyer Nelson with 2 outs and nobody on. Fastball popped up foul off third. This will carry well out of play, and in fact, just shy of the Jack Riley concourse. Some fans scattering and fortunately bent out of the way. They didn't quite know where the ball was coming down. Thank heaven it hit a seat that was unoccupied. There were 3 fans in the vicinity, perilously close to being hit. The baseball just missing 3 who just were kind of ducking for cover. The pitch on the way, swung on and missed. The ball glancing off the mid of Xavier Rios, and the count 1-2. Sawyer Nelson just graduated out of South Salem, originally committed to Washington, but will be playing his college baseball at Loyola Marymount. Brand's 1-2 pitch misses high, ball 2. 2-2 with 2 down, nobody on in the 8th. 2-0 Knights. Jake Brand, 6'7", 180. Kicks and comes to the plate. Changeup taken, strike 3 called to retire the side. 6 in a row set down by Jake Brand, and the Knights are pitching it tonight between Nick Salins and Jake Brand, a shutout through 8 innings. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Knights 2 and the Berries nothing. A new pitcher coming in from Marion. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too. Belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment. Or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Lucas Plenert is the new pitcher for Marion as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Knights leading the Berries 2-0. Trey Swigert, Xavier Rios, and Zane Garvey, the scheduled hitters for the Knights. Lucas delivers a first pitch strike to Trey, 0-1 the count. 2-0 Knights, bottom of the 8th. Swigert has struck out, flied into a 9-3 double play, and singled to right field. Plenert works from the stretch with nobody on and runs the fastball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lucas Plenert, the 5th pitcher of the night for the Berries, who pitched well. David Roberts, Daniel Kamau, Jackson Blank, Ryan Hockman, and now Lucas. The pitch to Swigert is hit fair down the left field line and headed for the corner. Gavin Price chasing the ball down, and Swigert cruises into second with a leadoff double. Nice piece of hitting by Trey, going the other way down the line for a leadoff 2-bagger. The Knights were able to parlay a leadoff double in the second inning from the hitter now, Xavier Rios, into one of their 2 runs. Xavier doubled to left to open the second, went to third on a single by Zane Garvey, and scored on a ground out by Archer Horn. The Knights' other run coming in the 5th inning, stringing together 4 singles and getting an RBI base hit from Trans Flores to score Joey Morosco. That's it. And they would love to get another run to take with them to the 9th. Leading 2-0. Swigert a leadoff double. Xavier Rios, the batter. We'll see if Coach Knight asks Xavier to bunt, and Coach Knight does, and Xavier shows, pulls the bat back, and takes a strike. 0-1 the count to Rios. Since doubling and scoring in the second, is grounded to third and fouled out. 1,090 tonight here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field after 11:50 in the house last night. The strike 1 pitch, full swing, and the Urchins are busy. The ball bounding into Urchin Alley in the serious competition. The screams and the chase is on. With apologies to George Jones, the race is on for that foul ball dumped into Urchin Alley. No balls and 2 strikes to Xavier Rios. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and hit foul again. This one, unfortunately, though, lands on top of Dixon Rec. I've seen some enterprising urchins through the years try to climb the roof of Dixon Rec. There are a lot of baseballs up there, no doubt. No balls and 2 strikes to Rios. 2-0 Knights, bottom of the 8th. Trey Swigert at second, nobody out. Lucas Plenert from the stretch. Swigert's going to third, and the pitch is swung on and tap foul at the plate. Swigert had the base stolen, but with 2 strikes, Xavier has to protect and got a little piece of it to stay alive. Lucas Plenert, a right-hander out of Mountainside High School in Beaverton, or as Colin Cowherd always said when he was working locally in the Portland market, Beaverton. The pitch on the way is popped up on the right side into foul territory. Drifting over is Cale Barney to make the catch. And Trey Swigert holds at second as the right-hander out of Beaverton gets the out and is able to keep Trey Swigert at second. 1 away, Zane Garvey, the batter. 2-0 Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Lucas pitching to George Fox. This past spring, a good spring, 11 starts, 4-4, an ERA of about 5.5 for the Bruins. His second summer with the Marion Berries. Lucas comes set, glances back at Trey Swigert, comes to the plate and misses high and away to Zane, ball 1. Garvey has singled to left, flied to center, flied to left. 2-0 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights will be in Bend this weekend. Look forward to talking to you throughout the weekend on 1240 Joe Radio. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. And then back here, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on Monday night, with the Knights and Berries hooking up again on Lynn Benton Community College night. The pitch on the way is swung on and missed. There will be 9 different $1,000 scholarships given away every inning. $1,000 scholarships to LB. That's Monday night. The pitch is swung on and missed by Zane Garvey. 1-2 the count with 1 out. Swigert at second. Plenert to the plate. Garvey takes just outside, ball 2, 2-2. Zane also out of Beaverton, Southridge High School. 9 games with the Portland Pickles last summer. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. The pitch is a little dunker that'll drop. No, it won't. A backhanded catch made by Sawyer Nelson. I read it the same way, Trey. I thought it was going to drop. And Trey took off. He's doubled off at second on the catch by Nelson and the throw back to Liam O'Connor, and the inning is over. My own misadventures, the misadventures of the Knights on the base paths, that's been part of the story tonight. Even so, they're 3 outs away from taking the second straight game of the series. But a leadoff double for Swigert, and the inning ends on a double play ball. 6-4 on the pop-up. Strange goings on the bags tonight for the Knights. But the Knights are 3 outs away, and they'll look to get them with a new pitcher coming in. 2-0 Knights to the 9th. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
One more time, Knights fans.
I saw Kellen before the ball game as I was arriving, and he was heading down towards the bullpen area. Good to see you again, Kellen. I said, am I going to see you tonight? He says, yeah, I think I'm hot. I'm going tonight. And he was right. Kellen Siegel into the ballgame with an opportunity to get the save as we go to the 9th. But it is a slim 2-0 lead thanks to the excellent pitching of the Marion Berries. First ball swinging in the 9th. The chopper up along third. A foul ball called. Fielded by Tate Hammond. Hammond threw to first, and it would have been an out, but the home plate umpire, Perry Schofield, said foul ball, and the count 0-1. Tucker Brock has been pointing foul the entire time. I mean, the umpire clearly said foul, but Tucker has just been pointing his way like he's calling a shot or something. I mean, he just kept pointing and pointing and pointing foul to make sure that his hitter understood that it was a foul ball. What's that? No, I thought it was a fair ball too, Paul. I agree with you, but that's why Tucker Brock, I think, was so emphatic. Yeah, I hope he keeps saying this is a foul ball. Foul, right? Foul. He just kept pointing foul. I think an out should have been recorded on the pitch, but what do I know? Not much. No balls and a strike. Kellen to the plate, strike 2 called. Kellen quickly ahead, 0-2 to Evan Berg, who has popped to short grounded to first and been aboard on an error. 2-0 Knights, top of the ninth inning. Tucker wanted to keep pointing fair to make sure Schofield didn't change his mind. It looked like a fair ball to me, but we'll see. The strike two pitch high and inside from Kellen. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Top of the ninth inning, 2-0 Knights. 2 runs, 8 hits and an error. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Marion. Kellen Siegel trying to keep the beat going on after 8 shutout innings from Nick Salins and Jake Brandt. The pitch on the way, lifted foul off first, coming over to have a look. Joey Marasco, but this ball lands in the Jack Riley concourse and bounces up into the Omaha room area. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Evan Berg. Kellen Siegel trying to slam the door on the Berries in game 2 of this 3-game series. Fastball just low. Ball 2, 2-2. Game 3 of the series will be Monday night at Chemeketa Community College. Really looking forward to seeing, or no, we'll be here Monday night, pardon me, but in a couple of weeks the 2 teams will get together up in Marion County. The 2-2 pitch, a fly ball to left field. Zane Garvey coming in a hurry, plays it on a hop for a base hit. So, and a guy that I think should be out is instead on. And if this somehow gets extended and parlayed into something more, that's a tough break for the Knights. But I thought it was a fair ball off the bat of Evan Berg to open the inning. But Berg lives to tell about it, and to his credit, drops a single into left. Martin Serrano, the batter. 2-0 Knights in the top of the ninth inning. Kellen Siegel from the stretch, kicks and comes to the plate. Serrano takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. A leadoff single for Evan Berg, the first single of the night among the 4 hits for the Berries. Serrano standing in, representing the tying run. A throw to first base, and back to the bag goes Berg. Berg picked up a stolen base in the 6th inning. He's 11 for 11 on the year. 2-0 Knights in the 9th. Siegel on in relief for Nick Salins, who went 6 scoreless. Jake Brandt 2 scoreless. Another throw to first, and Berg again back to the bag. Martin Serrano has flied to left, struck out, and grounded to short. Kellen another move to first base, and again back to the bag goes Evan Berg. Big Martin out of the box. Will wrap up his collegiate career with Ohio State. Good for him. Siegel to the plate, the 1-0 fastball, fouled back. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 9th inning. Kellen 6'2", 190, redshirt sophomore out of Grant High School. His 4th summer with the Corvallis Knights, has been a two-way guy all 3 years thus far. Delivers to Serrano high, ball 2, 2-1. Had a really good year with Lynn Benton Community College again this year. 305 with a homer and 18 runs batted in. 2 balls and a strike to Martin Serrano. Kellen again over to first base, and Evan Berg back. Kellen Siegel and Xavier Rios, the Knights battery. Chance Flores at first, Berkeley Rentz at second, Archer Horn at short, Tate Hammond at third. The pitch on the way to Serrano, foul back. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zane Garvey in left, Max Medina in center, Joey Marasco in right. The Knights a run in the 2nd and another run in the 5th. That's it. The Berries trying to fight their way back here in the top of the 9th inning. The 2-2 pitch to Serrano is grounded slowly to Berkeley Rentz. He will get the sure out at first base and allow Evan Berg to run across into second. Good decision. Brooke Knight is coming out to visit with Dick Schofield. I thought that might happen. Ducky Schofield, Dick Schofield. Brooke is coming out to argue something here, and what, I have no idea. Martin Serrano grounds out 4-3 on the play. Berg into second. And Evan standing at second base, conversing with Archer Horn, with Brooke Knight out for a conversation with both umpires about something. I don't know if it had something to do with the possibility of interference on the part of Berg running across in the path from first to second, perhaps. There was only one play for Berkeley Rents, and it was to first, and he made it, but maybe Brooke was suggesting that Berg had done something untoward running from first to second. First pitch to Gavin Price, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to the right-hand hitting left fielder for the Berries, who was flied to right, struck out looking, and doubled to center. Top of the ninth inning, 2-0 Knights. Kellen Siegel trying to keep it that way and bring it home. Does have a run to play with. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Good slider from Kellen. He's ahead of the count to Gavin. No balls and 2 strikes. With Evan Berg at second base, 1 away in the top of the ninth inning. Price awaits, down in the count, 0-2. Kellen out of the stretch, kicks and delivers, breaking ball. Did he go on appeal? No swing, says the base umpire, and he was wrong. I'm sorry, he was. Price should be rung up. There should be 2 outs in this inning. Ball game could be over. And now Price still up there, getting away with nearly a full swing on a check. 1-2 the count. Kellen Siegel from the stretch delivers, hit foul off to the right and out of play. The entire Knights dugout as one. When Derek Dunbar said no swing, nearly fell over the railing they're all leaning on at the top of the steps in the Knights dugout on the third base side. A visceral reaction as one from the entire team. Siegel ready, and the 1-2 pitch coming to Gavin Price. Check swing, this time he goes around. Strike 3, 2 down on the play. Evan Berg into third. A stolen base. He's 2 for 2 in stolen bases tonight, 12 for 12 on the year. 2 away. That was an interesting call by Perry Schofield on his own. It almost had the look of taking matters into his own hands. It smacked of a makeup. With the previous call, no swing. This time, Schofield on his own rung Gavin Price up on a pitch that I thought Gavin checked up on, maybe more so than he did on the previous offering. Now, Matthew Major, the batter, swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. 2 down, top of the ninth inning, 2-0 Knights. Evan Berg at third, Siegel and the Knights an out away with a run to play with. The strike 1 pitch, breaking ball bounced, and the count 1-1. Siegel trying to bring it home here in the top of the ninth inning. On a night where Lil King has been honored with his 354th game as one of the Knights' great mascots. The Knights trying to bring it to a fitting end. Siegel misses high. Ball 2, 2-1 to Matthew Major. Major has the best hit ball of this series thus far. Booming triple to center over the head of Max Medina back in the second inning, but ended up getting thrown out at the plate in the second. 2-0 Knights in the ninth. Siegel delivers, good fastball. Sinking down and in, swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. Kellen and the Knights a strike away, and the Knights fans getting into it now, many on their feet, clapping, ringing their cowbells, and trying to help Kellen Siegel finish it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Major. Kellen to the plate, and the breaking ball hits Matthew Major. And so the tying runs are on base. Cale Barney, the batter. Siegel was a strike away. He plunks Major. Major was hit last night by a pitch. And he heads down to first base. The breaking ball just didn't come down for him. So, runners at first and third. 2 down for Cale Barney. Barney has been aboard on a fielder's choice, struck out and grounded to first. Evan Berg at third, Matthew Major at first, 2 down. Kellen to the plate, a high pop foul to the right. This will carry into the stands. That is a booming pop foul that lands in a stairwell heading up into the upper grandstand to the right. The fan made a very good decision at the end. He thought about reaching over the railing and trying to make a catch. He pulled back and let it go. Good decision. That would have stung a bit. That was a mile-high pop foul into the stands. Cale Barney awaits. Kellen Siegel with runners at the corners and 2 down, turns and throws to first. Matthew Major gets back. Big Cale with big-time power. So Kellen's got to make sure that Big Cale doesn't get the arms extended here and turn on a pitch. No balls and a strike. 2-0 Knights, 2 on, 2 outs, top of the 9th. The strike one change. Big swing and a miss. Barney goes staggering after the swing. And here again, the Knights are a strike away. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. 2-0 Knights in the top of the 9th inning. The youngsters throwing down quite a din, trying to support Kellen Siegel's bid to end the game here. The right-hander ready, the 0-2 pitch hit foul towards Waldo Hall, off to the left and out of play. It remains no balls and 2 strikes to Cale Barney. Tremendous spirit tonight here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The youngsters leading the way. Berg at third, Major at first, 2 down. The strike 2 pitch to Barney. Down and in. Ball 1, 1-2. Hudson Flora on deck. The Berries, to their credit, pushing the Knights to the very end. 2-0 Corvallis, top of the 9th inning. The Berries, though, have the tying runs on base and a power hitter at the dish. 1-2, 2 down. Kellen out of the stretch, turns and throws to first, and Matthew Major dives back. The Let's Go Knights chant being delivered by the youngsters in unison. Kellen Siegel, hoping to not disappoint, delivers away. Ball 2, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. A 2-0 Knights lead in the top of the 9th inning. Cale Barney awaiting Kellen Siegel. Evan Berg at third, Matthew Major at first. The 2-2 pitch is fouled back. A good job by Cale Barney to keep the at-bat alive. Well, the fans have gotten into it. They're working hard to try to help the Knights get this victory nailed down in the top of the 9th. Another 2-2 pitch with 2 on and 2 out coming, and it's inside. Ball 3. 3-2. It was 0-2. Cale Barney, to his credit, has worked it full. Hudson Flora on deck, and that will prompt activity behind Kellen in the Knights bullpen. If it's ball 4, then you're in some pretty serious trouble with a good hitter and Flora on deck. The 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. Cale Barney staving off that 27th out again, making contact at the plate to keep the AB alive and keep the Berries alive. Top of the 9th inning, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and third and 2 down. Matthew Major taking off on the pitch. He's the tying run. Kellen Siegel from the stretch. Kellen to the plate, 3-2, swung on and fouled again by Barney. Great battle between Cale Barney, an incoming freshman to Oregon State, and Kellen Siegel, a veteran of many a summer night here throughout his pitching and two-way playing days. This is a big moment for Kellen. 3-2, 2 down, Major ready to go. He does. The 3-2 pitch is driven toward the gap in right center. Back on the ball goes Medina, has a play and makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Tremendous job by the Knights pitching staff tonight, and in the end, by Kellen Siegel, pitching to contact, not giving in to ball 4. Cale Barney didn't either. He kept the at-bat alive and battled. But it's the Knights that end up winning it, and Lil King is out on the field leading the celebration out to near second base. One more time tonight for Lil King, and a very familiar sight. The Knights coming off the field at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, high-fiving one another and celebrating another victory. This one predicated on great pitching, a combined shutout of Nick Salins, Jake Brand, and Kellen Siegel. Nick Salins is our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. The Knights getting 2 runs and making those stand up. An RBI ground out for Archer Horn in the second to score Xavier Rios, who doubled, and Chance Flores, an RBI base hit to score Joey Marasco, who had singled back in the 5th inning. It was Jake Salins' night. He was outstanding. Ended up striking out 8 through his 6 innings, giving up just 2 hits. So Big League Chew Bubblegum Night, a huge success presented by K-Gal K-Show, and you heard it all here on the Knights live stream and on Joe Radio. It was a real pleasure to be again here tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field before a crowd of 1,090 with the outstanding work done by our crew this evening of Brian Thomas, Everett Barty, Kylan Lewis, and executive producer Brendan Brucker. And thanks to all of you for joining us here tonight. We'll be in Bend this weekend, the Corvallis Knights in Bend. Elks, yours truly with the call here on Joe Radio. That's going to do it. A great night to honor Lil King and his 15 years and 354 games of entertaining fans young and old throughout these 15 summers. So we bid farewell on a fitting note, a Knights victory to Lil King, Justin Sloan. Again, our final score, the Knights 2 and the Marion Berries nothing. We'll talk to you from Bend tomorrow night, right back on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.